Hello and welcome to another tech tip by VMNerd. Our tech topic for today is an update to an existing video we have titled Configuring a pFSense open source firewall to use private internet access VPN service. This month, July 2016, PIAA released an update to their OpenVPN configurations to support higher encryption levels. You do not have to use 128-bit CBC and 160-bit SHA-1 encryption levels and can now leverage the AES 256 and RSA 256 configurations with the use of adaptive compression. The compression will help you reduce the actual internet consumption. So the plan for this video is to configure the new stronger ciphers and encryption algorithms, enable the compression, configure VPN-only access groups or aliases, and configure the DNS Leak Test parameters. And with that, let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out like we normally start all the videos here. Let's go ahead and build a visual to go over what it is we're actually going to do. Okay? Alright, there we go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to talk about our pFSense box. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a label since this is what I'm going to use to get to it. That way you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And from here we have a workstation that's on the LAN interface inside of that firewall. And we called him browser. Okay, so he's basically our Win10 browser that's gonna Win10 machine who's acting as a browser so we can test our configurations. Okay. And then for illustration purposes, I'll go ahead and add, we actually have another firewall in between that before we actually get to the internet. Okay. Call this the internet. Okay. Let's go ahead and push this down a little bit. Okay, and the internet is obviously much bigger than that. So we'll make it real big. And then we'll go ahead and create another little box here. And we'll call it PIAA, which is their VPN service. Okay. And when our browser connects to the internet without the VPN service, it actually hits from the PF05 demo box to firewall, and then from there it goes out to the internet with the IP address of this firewall. Okay, there is network address translation going on, so the browser will actually take the IP of this guy. But for what we're doing, it'll explain, it'll actually show that there is a difference when this guy here is connected over VPN. Okay, so when we link him via VPN, he will actually show the IP address of this service. So when he goes to the internet, he will go out this connection over the VPN tunnel and out to the internet with this guy's registered address. Okay. All right. So now that we have an idea of what we're building, let's go ahead and start building. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to okay. And basically, I didn't want to bore you guys with reinstalling pFSense. You guys are welcome to watch the other video to learn how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. All right, so the first thing we need to do now that we've logged in, let's go ahead and go to PIAA's website. Okay. So we'll go to, we'll just type in PIAA. Okay. It'll take us there. And let's go to support. Go to client download and support. And then from down in here, they actually, if you look here, they actually added new files, this OpenVPN configuration file strong. Okay, and basically what that is, it's the new OpenVPN files that they actually released this month. Okay. Let's go ahead and extract these because we will need this information. Okay, So let's go ahead and open up our pFSense box again. And let's open up the certificate manager. Let's go ahead and add a certificate authority. And for this, we'll call him PIAA. And let's go ahead and grab this 4096 CA certificate. Okay. We just need to copy and paste this text data in here. Let's go ahead and paste that in, and he's good. Okay. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we can actually go and configure the OpenVPN client. Okay, so let's go to Clients, Add, and from here we'll go ahead and do peer-to-peer, UDP, tunnel, WAN. Okay, this is where we got to get the address for what we're connecting to. So let's go ahead and open up one of these OpenVPN files, which actually contains all the configurations that we need. So this is actually perfect. So if you look right here where it says remote, it's kind of where we're connecting to. And while we're in here, pay attention to the port, which is right next to it, the 1197. So we'll go ahead and paste in the server address. And then from here, the port was 1197. So let's go ahead and put that in. And the next thing below that, if you look at the resolve retry infinite, basically if it disconnects, it wants it just to keep going. So that way it tries to keep everything we have established. Okay, I'm going to scroll up a little bit and I'm going to put in my user ID. And my password. And type it in again. Okay, this is where we need to uncheck this information. Go ahead and select the certificate authority. We don't have any more, but as long as you labeled it something you can remember, go ahead and use that. The next thing we need to do is go ahead and replace the encryption algorithms. So this is where they actually made the improvements in the actual encryption algorithms and the auth digest algorithms. So from here we can actually go ahead and go to AES 256 CDC. Okay, if you look over here, you'll see the same thing. So right over here where it says Cipher AES. And then for auth digest, right below that, they have SHA 256. Okay, so let's go ahead and RSA SHA 256. Let's go ahead and scroll down. And another enhancement that they did to this configuration is they did enable compression. So let's go ahead and enable with adaptive compression. So basically, it's as it needs it, it'll make adjustments or do anything it needs to do. Okay. And from there, let's go ahead and not forward IPv6. Let's not pull the routes from the VPN server, and let's not do that automatically. Okay. And then from here, we should be okay for now. So let's go ahead and click Save. And just for fun, let's go to the status page, check OpenVPN, and we should actually already be connected, and we are. So if you look right here, we are already connected, but nobody at this point can actually use it. Okay, so we can go ahead and close this out. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is actually go in and configure the interfaces. So go ahead and click on the interfaces option or menu, click Assign, and this is where we'll go ahead and add a new interface, and this is where we need to select what VPN client we're using. In our case, we only have one VPN client, so it's easy to find. Okay, so go ahead and click OpenVPN C1. If there was a server, you'll see S1. Okay, so go ahead and click Add, and I think that's Save, and then go to Interfaces, and basically we created that opt1 interface with the VPN connection. So go ahead and label this PIAA VPN. Let's go ahead and check the checkbox to enable the interface. Okay, go ahead and click Apply. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and click System, click on General Setup, and let's go ahead and add the DNS servers that they provide to prevent leaks. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the 222.18.222. And let's go ahead and do the other one as well. So it'd be 209.222.18.218. Okay, and typically this button here is usually selected, but for what we're doing, we need to unselect that. Okay, let's go ahead and click Save. Okay, let's go over to Services, and let's go ahead and click on our Resolver tab. Okay, and this is where we were going to be specifying what interfaces we're going to use. So the in interface is typically anybody who's using it. So for what we're doing, we'll just accept DNS information from the LAN, and the other place we need to allow it is the local host. And where it says outgoing interface, we're just going to select the PIAA VPN. Okay, and that's it. That's the only one we need to select. And then the other thing we need to do is check the enable forwarding mode. Okay, so go ahead and click Save from here. Go ahead and click Apply Changes. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go into the network address translation page and go ahead and select on the outbound connections. Okay, and then from here we're going to go ahead and select manual outbound NAT rule generation. Go ahead and click Save. Click Apply. And if you look right here, it actually created 4 manual outbound connections. And what we need to do is we need to mirror each one of them. So just to simplify, go ahead and click the little duplicate option there and then select PIA. And we'll have to do this for each and every one of these. Okay. So this one says WAN. Let's go ahead and duplicate that one. PIA. Okay. So now we're on the actual LAN subnets. Go ahead and click duplicate, or basically mirror it based on that configuration. Go ahead and click Save. And one last one here. We'll have to do the same here. And just select PIA. Okay. Go ahead and do a save. Click Apply. Okay, so now our NAT translations or our NAT rules are in place to allow outbound connectivity from VPN as well as the local host. So the firewall itself can actually go out the VPN tunnel as well. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is go to the firewall page and go to the rules. Or actually, we need to go to aliases. Okay, and this is where we're actually going to go ahead and add an alias for our VPN only users, okay? And if you really wanted to, you can do it the other way where you can have exempt from VPN. But for illustration, or for what we're doing, we're going to go ahead and just do a VPN only group. So that way all normal machines will go out the normal internet unless they're defined to use this as VPN. So VPN only. Okay. Okay. And now let's go into the firewall. Go to Rules. Click on the LAN tab. Okay, and if you look right here, we already have a rule called LAN net. That's the source. Let's go ahead and duplicate the rule or copy it. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and switch this host alias to VPN. So you just type in V and it'll auto fill out most of it unless you have multiple names. And the more you type, obviously the list shrinks. For advanced options, go ahead and click on Display. And for gateway, let's go ahead and select the PIAA VPN tunnel. Go ahead and click Save. And we need to make sure that this rule here is up above the initial LAN one. Okay. Go ahead and click Save. And let's go ahead and modify this rule here, this LAN net one, to make sure that it uses the WAN gateway and doesn't get confused. Okay, go ahead and click Apply. And one last thing we need to do is we need to go into the system, select the routing option. And let's go ahead and make sure, you need to make sure this disable gateway monitoring is selected. So by default, it normally looks like that, but you need to make sure that's selected. Okay, so go ahead and click Apply, Save. Okay, so next steps is let's go ahead and log into a machine that's actually behind here. So inside our diagram, we have browser. So let's go ahead and go to our browser machine. Okay. So we'll bring up Remote Desktop Manager. Go ahead and click Browser. Okay, so we're here. And while we're in here, let's take a look at our IP address. So if you look right here, we got 198.880.93. So that's our VPN external. So from here, let's just go ahead and check what our IP is. So let's do what is my IP. Okay. If you look right here, it's 209.95.50.160. So that would be this firewall's IP, because currently we're just going straight out the internet. We're not hitting the VPN service. Even though it's connected, we're not actually going that way just yet. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's get it to where we can. Okay. So we'll go ahead and close out the browser so it doesn't remember anything. And let's go to our firewall aliases, and let's add the IP address of this machine. Actually, you know what? Let's do a IP config. So the IP is 89.50, and let's edit this VPN only group. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and add 192.168, I believe 89.50. Go ahead and click Save, and click Apply, and let's just see. We're going to go ahead and reboot the pFSense router. Okay, just to make sure that everything syncs up the way it should. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, looks like it's done. Let's go ahead and log back in. And let's go ahead and take a look at our OpenVPN connection. If you look right here, we got a new IP address, so 198.880.37. Okay, so let's go ahead and test out the IP from the trust. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do a what is my IP. And if you look right here, we got a 198.8.80.37, which is our OpenVPN external. Okay. And let's go ahead and do a trace route as well. All right, well, we can do that there. But if you look right here, we hit 10.127.11. And then if you look here, we got a 198.880.1, which is our router from our VPN client. Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do a DNS leak test. Okay. So there's two of them. I actually like using both of them because I do like colors. So we'll go ahead and do this one since it's colorful. And while that came back pretty quick. So if you look right here, it says we're not leaking. So let's go ahead and go back to Google. Okay. And let's do another leak test, but let's use the other one. Okay. So we'll go ahead and go there. And standard. It says it found one server, which is what we expect to see. Let's go ahead and do the extended one. It's going to try and query multiple servers. We should only see the one server that's found. See? And there we go. We're not leaking any DNS information. Okay, so let's do one more test. Let's say you can't get to the internet anymore from the machine that you have in the VPN only rules here. Actually, you know what? Let's just remove the IP for my machine in here. Let's go ahead and click Save. Go ahead and click Apply. And let's go ahead and test. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a what is my IP. And if you look right there, that's exactly the IP that we had. Okay, and I think that's about it. And that's it for our topic today. I hope you enjoyed our update to the existing video that we have titled Configuring a pFSense Open Source Firewall to Use Private Internet Access VPN Service. We went ahead and we updated the cipher and encryption algorithms. We enabled the adaptive compression. We set up a VPN only access group and alias, and we configured the DNS leak information so that way we can pass the DNS leak tests. Thank you. Have a great day. Hey guys, don't forget to check out our VMNerd YouTube channel for more tech tips.